No, I did not like Cancun because Ron has no fear of travel and like no, let's go on the public transit. Let's, get an Uber in Mexico. And if you didn't know,
don't get one in Cancun. You get one in Cabo though. But
apparently there's this taxi Uber war, and we're riding in the, Ron's like, let's get an Uber to go to dinner or whatever. And we had to walk down. The Uber driver's like, okay, walk down the street, don't look around, get in the car, and like don't say anything. And then he tells us a story about how they're bombing the Uber drivers and they beheaded somebody. And meanwhile,
that was the taxi drivers fighting with the Uber drivers.
Yeah, and so they blocked our pickup. They wouldn't let them get to us.
Yeah, because there were two. At our hotel, there were two taxi drivers at the end of the sidewalk, and so. We walked past them, didn't we? Yeah, we walked past them because I was talking to the Uber driver and he's like, yeah, just go down the block over.
Yeah. And they followed us. He was like, okay, I'm dropping you off. Get out. Don't give me any money. And just like walk in the building.
Yeah. So we got to the restaurant.
So we did that.
But nothing happened.
Yeah. And
but
then
I could see in the back of my mind, Erin was in the back seat and she was like freaking out. And I started imagining Indiana Jones. And like us going up into a truck and all that kind of stuff. But us fighting and shooting.
It was scary.
It sounded, I liked Indiana Jones.
The other Cancun, or I don't know if it was Cancun, but the other Mexico story is.
It was Cancun. Cancun again.
Ron went by himself.
By myself. And Lance is a part of this story.
Yeah, so Ron went by himself. Lance flew down there, hung out with him for the day. And then the next day, Ron calls me and he's like, oh, I'm really tired. It's raining. Like, I'm just going to hang out in the hotel room. Lance had left at this point. And I was like, okay, that's cool, So then hours go by and I hadn't heard from him. So I started calling him, texting him, nothing. So in my mind, I'm like, he's been kidnapped. Like, they found out he's a pilot. Like, they've commandeered him and he's like gone. So that was...
He's a drug pilot now.
Yes, I'm a drug pilot. Yes. I'm Barry Seals now.
So it went on until like 1 a.m., I think. And then I still couldn't get a hold of you. And so I was like, talking to some friends of mine. And I'm like, this is the situation. Lance is looking flights up at this point. He was going to fly back down there the next day to go find you. So my friends get on Facebook and they had tried to call the hotel and they spoke Spanish. So they couldn't like communicate with the staff to go look for him. And so they get on Facebook and they're like, does anyone speak Spanish? We need someone now. It's very life or death. So someone responds and they call the hotel and my friend calls me and she's like, I need you to like sit down. And they went in the hotel room and he's not there at like 2 a.m. And so I freak out and I think
you were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be there.
I told her I was going to stay in the room.
And so maybe like, and they were like, his cell phone's there. Maybe like a minute later, you must have texted me.
Yeah.
And he'd been at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I heard you giggle, I was like, you went to the bar.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, where have you been?
It was an all-inclusive hotel, like, so I had to do my quota for the night. It's all-inclusive.
I went and hung out. I met some people.
I was waiting for you to receive a selfie with him and a margarita or something.
So I was just kind of like, be glad you're not dead because you will be when you get home.
Because when you get home.
Yeah. Good night.